You don't care how people feel about the ritual. It's about does following the ritual work. Yeah. And so you can fool yourself into thinking there isn't one, but the evidence will be clear.
Hollywood likes to sort of devalue black artists and black folk because you get super talented people at a discounted rate.
Back when Larenz Tate was a sitcom kid, he did have a lot of shows that didn't last. And I'm pretty sure at one point he felt like his career was not going in the direction it should. See, this is a testament that what is for you, and things happen in divine timing.
The real deal is we don't own any platform the way we should. There's a few black-owned platforms, but we don't have a lot of outlets. We don't have as many. So we are not sort of governing over these entities or these corporations.
Katt Williams been warning us, Hollywood ain't built for the real ones, and it's the fakes, the industry puppets, and the ones willing to play the dirty game that get all the shine.
When I be like, oh, these guys are wearing dresses. Yeah, everybody's like, oh, he keeps talking about people wearing dresses. No, it's not.
That is a weird thing.
It's not like that. Look at it from a different way. Look at it. Show me one person that ever wore a dress in Hollywood unsuccessfully.
But the ones with backbone, the ones with real morals, they get pushed out quick. And that's exactly what Katt hinted happened to 90s legend Larenz Tate. Yup, the same Larenz who owned the screen in Menace II Society, melted hearts in Love Jones, and brought nothing but pure black excellence every time he showed up. Then, boom, he vanished. No scandals, no arrests, no rehab stints, just gone like smoke in the wind.
This young man has obviously forgotten some very fundamental things like decency and dedication and honor. Everything the Corps taught us. He is a disgrace to everyone that has ever put on that uniform, and I will not permit you or him to use the Vietnam War as a cop-out here.
So what really went down? Katt didn't spill it all word for word, but he dropped some serious clues. And if you connect the dots, it's looking like Larenz may have refused to take part in those shady behind-the-scenes rituals they say actors gotta go through to level up. Because in Hollywood, if you don't kneel, you don't rise. And if they can't control you, they erase you.
This is a little something I've been working on. It's new. I call it a blues for Nina. Ooh. Is that a smile me put on your face, child?
So here's the real question. What exactly did Larenz Tate dodge? What twisted game did he walk away from that others jumped into with no hesitation? And why would Hollywood throw dirt on the name of a man who was built to be a legend? Let's break this all the way down.
We get into the position of being gatekeepers. If we're not in the room, if we don't have a green light vote, it's not getting done. Somebody in the studio has to say, we're making it.
So every time there is, as you said, where everybody's talking about the 10, this is now a new wave of black films. Do you think it's
hogwash?
Hogwash. You don't think it signals a big shift in consciousness? No.
Not buying it.
Not buying it.
Shenanigans.
Back in the 90s, Larenz was him. No debate. You couldn't flip through channels or hit the theaters without seeing that man cook every role he touched. He went savage in Menace II Society, playing a cold-blooded gangster with that crazy short fuse. Then he flipped it in Dead Presidents. A soldier turned stick-up man with pain in his eyes and scars on his soul. And Love Jones? Come on! Larenz had the ladies locked in with that smooth, poetic vibe. Darius Love Hall? Instant classic. But Larenz wasn't just another Hollywood heartthrob, he was ours. The culture loved him. Black men looked up to him, women couldn't get enough, and he always kept it classy. No scandals, no wild headlines, no thirst for clout. He stayed solid, maybe too solid for an industry that loves mess more than morals.
What they all end up saying at the end of the day. Kevin told you he wasn't gonna wear no dress until...
No. Oh, no.
So they offered him the dress, and then he put it on. And what did he say after he wore it? I made my own decision. Duh. But you didn't make it before they brought it up, did you? It's okay.
Larenz wasn't out here wilding. He just acted and did it like a pro. But then, crickets. No scandal, no meltdown, no wild interview that blew up the internet. One day, he was Hollywood's next king. Then suddenly, it was like someone hit mute on his whole career. And that's what makes it so strange. Usually when a star vanishes, there's a mess behind it. Lawsuits, arrests, rehab drama, something. But with Larenz, nothing. He just slowly got pushed to the side like his spotlight expired overnight. Yeah, he still pops up here and there, but that leading man glow he once had, they snatched it away. And now the streets are whispering that Katt Williams might have been right all along.
Gonna turn down $50 million. Now, I've had to turn down $50 million 4 times. 4 times. Just to protect my integrity and that virgin hole I was telling you about. Right. Because P. Diddy be wanting to party. And you gotta tell him no. You got to tell him no. I did.
Word is, Larenz started turning down roles that felt disrespectful, especially the kind that try to box black men into weak, loud, or straight-up clownish characters. And yup, that allegedly included those cross-dressing roles they try to slip in as comedy. Larenz wasn't with it. He wanted powerful, real stories. But in Hollywood, when you say no too many times, they blacklist you fast. Let's keep it a buck. This industry doesn't like clean-cut, talented black men who know their worth and don't bow down. That type makes Hollywood nervous. See?
That's what makes information so powerful is, you don't care how people feel about the ritual. It's about just following the ritual work. Yeah. And so you can fool yourself into thinking there isn't one, but the evidence will be clear. So like when I be like, oh, these guys are wearing dresses. Everybody's like, oh, he keeps talking about people wearing dresses. No, it's not. It's a weird thing. It's not like that. Look at it from a different way. Look at it. Show me one person that ever wore a dress in Hollywood unsuccessfully. That's how you understand what a ritual is.
Here's the cold truth. Hollywood's always had a limit on how many strong, respectable black men they'll let shine at the same time. They'll pick one, hand him the Oscar, give him the prestige roles, let him play the hero. But behind the scenes, the rest are boxed in, pushed into sidekick roles, comic relief, or stuck repeating the same tired trauma scripts. Why? Because like Spike Lee once said, black pain is comfortable for Hollywood. It's profitable, it's predictable, and most of all, it doesn't shake the system. But a self-respecting black man who refuses to sell out just to get paid? That's a threat. That's the kind of man who inspires kids, the kind who might speak out, the kind they can't control. So yeah, they gave us one Denzel, but even he had to be flawless, 10 steps ahead, never slipping, never giving them a reason.
20 years ago, I knew that transgenders was going to be a thing. It wasn't because I was a prophet. It's just I had gotten so much information that I understood that things are secular. So I understood that the earliest I had seen that word transgender was Baphomet, the transgender. And so I knew that in the ritual of Baphomet, the transgender, to show allegiance to him, you had to kiss his ass ring.
Really?
And it said both of those things. So I knew that both of those things would become popular in the future.
Larenz Tate didn't fall off because he lacked talent. He vanished because he refused to play the role they scripted for him. And that's exactly what Katt Williams been screaming about for years, but people are just now catching on. And when you look at who did blow up during the time Larenz started fading out, the picture gets even messier. Actors with half his talent were getting pushed to the front, but playing the same worn-out roles, the thug, the addict, the comic relief, or the confused sidekick. Meanwhile, Larenz, black excellence. No mess, no gimmicks, just raw skill and self-respect. And that made him a problem. You think it's a coincidence that he never got those big-budget blockbusters after Love Jones? That he didn't land any major superhero roles while the industry was suddenly obsessed with black leads? Come on.
Twice as hard to get, twice as less as our counterparts, right? And that being said, we're not valued, I believe we're supposed to be valued. So those budgets are really important for us so that we can have the kind of quality that we can present to the consumer. And the smaller the budget, the more creative you have to get. And we don't have resources oftentimes as our white counterparts.
Behind closed doors, it's been said that Larenz turned down multiple roles that were meant to humiliate or water him down. He wasn't trying to wear dresses for laughs. He wasn't about to act like a clown just to get a paycheck. And once they saw he wasn't playing the game, they cut him off. And it's the same blueprint over and over. If you won't let them mold you, they'll erase you. And Katt Williams has been trying to warn us about that exact playbook for years, but back then nobody wanted to believe him. Now, it's starting to look like he was telling the truth the whole time.
I heard on the street, Taraji, you had the audacity to say you're thinking about stopping acting. We said, stop talking. Are you thinking about it?
I'm just tired of working so hard, being gracious at what I do, getting paid a fraction of the cost. I'm tired of hearing my sisters say the same thing over and over. You get tired. I hear people go, you work a lot. I'll have to. The math ain't math.
They used to clown Katt Williams and called him crazy, a bitter, even paranoid. But now, folks are finally spinning the block and realizing he was right all along. And maybe that's why they tried so hard to silence him in the first place. Katt been saying it, Hollywood tests you. And while everyone loves to point at the whole man in a dress thing, Katt made it real clear. It's not about the dress, it's about humiliation, it's about control. Before they let you through that final elite door, there's always some sick moment where they ask you to cross a line. Something you'd never do if you were truly free. And the second you say yes, boom, they own you.
Is we don't own any platform the way we should. There's a few black-owned platforms, but we don't have a lot of outlets. We don't have as many. So we're not sort of governing over these entities or these corporations to say, hey, you guys have a great story, y'all want to tell it, and there's money to be made, come here. So when we do find those places, everybody's trying to go through one keyhole. Everybody's trying to go through one tunnel. And even when you go to non-black-owned places, they'll tell you to go over there because they have to find value in what we do. And that's changing quite a bit as we're making it very clear.
But Katt didn't stop there. He went even deeper, spiritual deep. He started connecting this Hollywood game to something way darker, something tied to the elite and their alleged secret obsessions. He mentioned whispers about strange rituals and even brought up the name nobody wants to say out loud, Baphomet. Yeah, according to Katt, this whole dress ritual ain't just about acting. It's about submission, sacrifice, and handing your soul over to powers that go way beyond movie scripts. Now line that up with Larenz Tate, a man who had everything, talent, charm, respect, and yet somehow he just vanished. Larenz didn't disappear because he wasn't good enough. Let's kill that lie right now. He got to that doorbound and chose to walk away. In interviews, Larenz himself hinted at the truth. He didn't fall off. He stepped back. He saw what the game was really about and refused to bite the bait. He wasn't trying to sell his soul for screen time. But Larenz didn't just walk away from Hollywood's twisted script. He started talking, and he was saying the kind of stuff that makes the industry nervous. He spoke out on something most black actors are trained to stay silent about, the pay gap. Even with all that DEI talk, diversity, equity, inclusion, Larenz exposed the real. Black actors still getting shortchanged. Same talent, same star power, same box office draw, but way less money. And Hollywood, they don't want that truth leaking out. They expect black actors to be grateful, take the crumbs, smile on cue, and never question the setup. But the second you start asking for real equity, for power, they start making calls, blacklisting behind the scenes, killing careers quietly.
Hollywood has always taught us we don't translate overseas or worldwide.
Right.
But when you start traveling and you go everywhere and you can't walk down the street, you then know that there's been somebody telling you something all along that's wrong. And my true belief as to why they do it is because Hollywood likes to sort of devalue black artists and black folk because you get super talented people at a discounted rate. You get a Hollywood likes to get really talented black folks and get them at a discounted rate. Only, certain superstars that can hit that level that they would feel like they would put a machine behind. But the truth of the matter is we do translate because we're humans just like everyone.
Just ask Taraji P. Henson or Monique. The moment they spoke up about being underpaid, suddenly they were difficult, ungrateful, hard to work with. Meanwhile, white actors demand millions, and they get applauded for knowing their worth. You see the game now? But Larenz Tate didn't stop at just speaking on paychecks. He went deeper. He made it clear. Throwing black faces into lead roles and cutting a check ain't enough. That's just surface level. The real power sits behind the camera. The ones writing the stories, greenlighting the scripts, and deciding what narratives get seen and which ones get buried. Because without control, representation is just a pretty lie, a distraction, window dressing with no real change behind it. And Larenz, he refused to play that game. He didn't sell out. He didn't trade his dignity for fame. He didn't bow down or switch up just to stay in the spotlight. So they hit him where it hurts. They cut him off. Big offers, gone. Studio roles, vanished. Media attention, dried up. Larenz went from leading man to ghost, not because his talent faded, but because he wouldn't let himself be controlled. And that's exactly why Hollywood didn't just cancel Larenz Tate. They buried him in silence. That's how they move when you're too clean to scandalize, but too strong to control. They didn't drag his name through the mud, they just made sure you never heard it again. But now, the truth is cracking through. And the fact that Katt Williams named Larenz, that's no coincidence. When Katt speaks, he's sending signals. Because no matter how deep they try to bury the truth, the real ones always resurface. Larenz didn't fall off. He escaped. And now the truth is starting to leak out, louder than ever. So what do you think really happened to Larenz Tate? Did he say no to those rituals Katt warned us about? Was it just about speaking out on the pay gap? Or is this rabbit hole even deeper than we thought? Drop your theories in the comments, smash that like button, hit subscribe, and share this video with someone who needs to hear it. And don't go nowhere, the next video, it's even wilder.